Before we start the show, just a word from our sponsor, Undeniable Press. For all your screen printing needs, located in the Corktown district of Detroit, Michigan. If you ever need any t-shirts or any other little promo accessories, posters, or whatnot printed up for you, go to Undeniable Press. They're located, once again, in the Corktown district of Detroit, Michigan, and you can reach them at facebook.com/undeniablepressdetroit. And those same guys who do Undeniable Press also have a clothing line called 20 by 20 Apparel. It's very much wrestling themed, all sorts of nostalgic themes in regards to the history of wrestling. And you can go check out their clothing line at 20x20apparel.com. That's the number 20x, the number 20apparel.com. Now let's start the show.
Fresh is the word.
I'm Jim Duggan, got long wood for plenty hoes. I keep it fresher than fresh, but you already know. You suckers bummy, I'm money, I got a ton of flows. My weed loud like a motherfucking thunder roll. Your shit quiet like you ballin' on a budget though. We see your kicks and we laugh and yellin' what are those. You see me shining like a suit on puffy. You know my grindin' shit is too strong, buddy. That's why the dude call money. I be stuntin' like it's nothing at all. Cause it's nothing to me, it's probably something to y'all. Trying to smoke like me, then come and fuck with your dog. Got a closet full of kicks, you can't cop it tomorrow. And I'm fresher than the freshest, you can tell it's in my essence. Bitch, you see the way I'm rapping, yes I do this shit to death. Until I'm running out of breath, or tell somebody cut a check. But either way you know it's fresh, and either way you know it's fresh. Fresh, we fresh. Fresh, 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 goddammit, we fresh. Fresh, goddammit, we so damn fresh.
Welcome to the Fresh is the Word podcast. I'm your host, K Fresh. This is the podcast about music, pro wrestling, and MMA. And we got a great show for you, like always. And just before we get to the show, I definitely want to remind you of a few things. If you ever want to support this podcast, you can always go to freshasthepodcast.com and share any links that are on there on any of your social medias. That would help out greatly. There is a link that says support the podcast, and there's a PayPal link you can donate to if you'd like. And there's also an Amazon link on there. We're part of the commission program, and if you use that link when making any purchases, they'll throw some pennies back, a little commission back to the podcast. It'll help out the podcast a little bit, and it doesn't change anything on your end. And also, you can follow Fresh is the Word on Twitter and Instagram at Fresh is the Word 1. That's Fresh is the Word number 1. Or on Facebook at facebook.com/freshasthepodcast. And give us a like and share on there also. And also, you can subscribe to Fresh is the Word on iTunes and Stitcher. Just search Fresh is the Word and it should come up pretty quickly. And give us a 5-star rating if you like it. That would definitely help out. And if you make any comments on Stitcher or iTunes, definitely read it on the show. Give you your props. Now, on to the show. Got a cool guest this week, Stubhy, from the band Lucky Boys Confusion, based out of Chicago. Definitely, they've been a popular band for some time now, but this is the first, their new album, Stormchasers, is the first new material in 10 years. So we go into talking about why they finally came around to making new material, and kind of the nuts and bolts of the recording process. But also, Stubby's was a big old school wrestling fan, so we get into like a lot of old WWE stuff, and talk about his favorites and everything. So that was really cool to talk with Stubby about that. Now let's get to the interview with Stubby from Lucky Boys Confusion. Yeah, thanks for taking time out to do this interview with me.
No problem, man. Thanks a lot for having me.
Yeah, I found out that you guys have this new album coming out, but like back in the day, you used to be a big wrestling fan.
Yeah, I definitely was. I grew up on it, so 80s, 90s, and I got back into it towards the end of the Attitude Era times, and then right when that was hitting its, I would say, midstream, I started going on tour again, so I just started catching it here and there. And now when I watch, I'm a little bit lost, but it's kind of one of those situations.
Yeah,
but it's not like you can't catch on real quick.
Oh, definitely.
So some of these smaller factions that have split off and are getting more popular, I really don't know what's going on with those. Last I checked, I watched some of the TNA stuff, but yeah, that's really it.
Hey, even us who watch it religiously, sometimes are confused on what's going on.
All right, good.
Okay, the band Lucky Boys Confusion just released a new album. It was the first album of new material in 10 years. You just had your release show last weekend. How was the release show?
It was awesome. We sold out the House of Blues. It was a packed house. Everybody was singing along. The best part was we opened up with a new song, and in the breakdown, everybody was singing along, and we couldn't believe it. It was just cool. So at that point in time, the album was only out for a day, and people were already singing along. So it's pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah, after 10 years, why was now a good time to come back?
It just seemed like the right time. I think it was 5-6 years ago, I wrote a song, and I was actually at the time in a different band, and we were both, all of us kind of branched out and did different stuff, and but in the meantime we were still playing together, but just playing old material. But I wrote this one song, and it felt like it had to be a Lucky Boys Confusion song, and so I wrote my guys, and I'm like, hey guys, I have this song. I have a whole bunch of other ones, but this one in particular feels like it has to be an LBC song. And I brought it to the guys, and they agreed, and we put it together real fast. And next thing you know, we're on our way to making like an EP, and that EP turned into an LP, and then it turned into a concept record. I mean, it just kind of naturally happened, all because of this one song.
Great. How long did it take before, you guys felt comfortable, together again?
It was really quick, because I think it's because we never stopped playing shows together. We never stopped hanging out. We just stopped making new music together. So, since we were doing it like that, that camaraderie and feeling of like togetherness never went away. It was a little bit like getting back on a bike. I would say the first month was a little clunky, just remembering how each other kind of writes.
Right.
But after that, it was just smooth.
How did it feel after getting a few songs written together again? How did that feel?
It was scary. I can relate it to and I don't mean to take anything away from this, but I feel like it's scary like the first couple months when you find out that you're having a baby, because it could go away within that first how they tell you not to tell people that you're pregnant for that first trimester.
Right.
And I felt like that, and I'm not trying to compare one to the other, but it's like it felt like, oh my God, we have 3 songs. These are really cool, 3 really cool songs, but we didn't want to tell people yet, and have it all fall apart because we get into have a disagreement, or we just lose interest in it, and then we get people excited, and then it doesn't happen. So that's what it felt like at first, and then as things started progressing, and we had half an album with the material, we're like, we could start telling people, and maybe even so on stage I started announcing it's true, rumors are true, we are writing together again, and so yeah, the first couple of songs were pretty scary.
How did you sort of keep the momentum going in the songwriting process?
That was pretty easy, just because the guys were really digging the stuff I was bringing to the table. So it was awesome. It was easy. That part I was scared about too, because I was like, what if these guys don't like it? What if it's just like I put my heart into all this and they're just going like, whatever. But no, it was easy because they were really into it. So they were really into it. They really added up so much to it, and the song started feeling like ours. So that part was really easy.
When you kind of look back to the early years of this band, when you first starting out, what sort of sticks out in your mind?
That we were just a bunch of kids that were just liked hanging out with each other, liked making music together, and things kind of started just happening for us because we were just real. And that's one thing that we've maintained throughout, is just, I think why we resonate with people and why we're still able to put a record out after 10 years is because we're the same kind of people that we were when we first started. We were who we were off stage, on stage, that's why when record labels started calling my house back in the day, and like trying to get a hold of us. We were just like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, and you're just like, this is just what we do. So what, with or without you, we're gonna still keep doing it. So when we signed, it was, yeah, I just remember everything just being like, whatever. We just are a bunch of kids from the suburbs of Chicago that play music, and I think it's stuck with us. Now we're just, full-grown adults.
Do you ever remember a time early on when you kind of almost had like that holy shit moment where you're like, oh my God, this could, be something that could stick around for a while?
Yeah, it was in 2001. I think it was 2001. And we sold out 3 shows in 2 nights at the House of Blues. I was like, what is going on? How is this even possible that this is happening? And yeah, that was pretty much it. That was when I just knew, like, this is something real. We're gonna at least in Chicago, this is gonna last.
Right. When you decided to take the hiatus, what was kind of going through the band at that time? Why did you need that break?
It was hard just being on the road for so long. At that point in time, we'd been on the road for like 6 years straight almost, and financially it was draining us. We weren't making a lot of money, so it was getting harder and harder to justify that we do this. And I think creatively we'd hit a wall. And I think that both me and Adam, the primary songwriters of the band, wanted to go and do other stuff. And that was it. And we even said it like a million times. We didn't stop being a band because we didn't like each other anymore, or we didn't appreciate each other's talents. It was just needed to create a different creative outlets, and we needed to find different ways to, financially support ourselves.
How did it feel to, find these other creative outlets?
It was great. It was great, and I think that's what made this record so good, is because we got to stretch our wings, get away from each other, and see what else we could do, what else we're good at, what else made us better songwriters. And I think that's what this record is the culmination of knowledge over the last 10 years, put back into this record now.
Is there anything specific that you feel like that this record in particular, has in it that you were able to learn over these past 10 years?
Well, I mean, it's more focused, and it's a concept record. So lyrically, we were able to kind of focus and make something a full story instead of a bunch of scattered parts. And I think more than anything, we just learned how to focus and to take the ego out of the music writing.
Right. And on this record, you worked with the producer Johnny K on this album. What did he bring to the table? What did he sort of bring out of the material that you brought to him?
Well, Johnny's amazing. I mean, you can just look at his catalog and just be like, wow. But he just jumped in like he was the 5th member of the band. It was crazy. He just, from day one, he came in and started asking us, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? And then, but when it came to recording us, he just let us be. He did a lot of work in the pre-production, and then just kind of let us go live and just kind of realized that less is more with this band. And this is the first record where the only people on it are the 4 of us and Johnny. It was really cool. It was like a very, very hands-on approach to the pre-production, a very, as far as like, there's not like 9,000 vocals on it or 100 guitar parts. It's just the drums and bass and rhythm guitar were recorded live, and everything else on top is pretty bare.
What do you think that you personally learned from Johnny K on working on this album?
To sit back a little bit and listen to your own craft and realize that, and try and realize when you're straying from what you're trying to get at from the piece of art that you're making, to try to look at it from the outside and realize that you might just be adding this part or that part, or not adding a part because you might be adding it because you just think it's cool, not really realizing it's not good for the song, or not doing a part because you think there's enough there, but there, just adding a small change here or there just accents the song even more, things like that.
When you first started working with Johnny, what was the first thing you guys did when you first met up with him?
He just came over to our rehearsal space, and we all just shook hands, said hello. I'd already known him, some of the other guys hadn't, and then we just ripped into a tune. And right when we did, he's like, "The best part of the song is the end. We love it, but what's up with that middle?" I mean, that was it. We just got right to work.
Now that the album's out now and your fans have, gave it a listen, what's the feedback that you're getting? Are you getting, any differing feedback from your longtime listeners?
Everything's been positive so far, which is insane because I didn't think it was, you expect a little bit of negative feedback, especially from diehard fans.
Yeah.
But along with us, they've grown up too. So they get that it's a more grown up record. We're not, and we're not talking about chasing girls and smoking pot and running from cops anymore. It's just not, that's not what we do anymore. Very, very, how can I put this? It's a very mature lyric content.
Okay.
Versus, some of the other more party environment kind of songs. So people have been really kind. I thought, some people might have responded like, "Oh, this isn't like old Lucky Boys," and kind of been mad about that. But no, we haven't gotten that. We don't rap anymore. There's not that much reggae. And there's a little bit of, you can hear the influence here and there, but it's not really that. It's like there's not like upstrokes and stuff like that. So it's just a different kind of record.
Right. Yeah, you sent me a link to Chikara Pro Wrestling using one of your songs for their event.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, how did that happen?
I'm friends with Joey Eastman.
Okay.
He is really involved in that like wrestling scene, and he's a big fan of the band. He used to actually walk out to one of our songs, and he got me a hold of this guy from Shikara, and he liked the song, and he asked me, "Hey, can I use it?" And I said, "Man, I grew up on wrestling. Absolutely go for it. Do it while I'm not on a label, because once we get on a label, it's going to cost you a lot of money. If we get on a label, but like right now, I could just be like, hey, yeah, fine, go for it, and it's cool. I mean, yeah, it was cool. I watched it. I didn't even realize how popular that company is. I just was doing it because I always liked wrestling.
Right. Yeah, Chicago's great. I went to one of their shows that they had in Chicago like late last year, I think it was.
Oh, cool, yeah.
And yeah, they're a much more like kind of like fun, family friendly sort of indie wrestling organization.
Cool.
All sorts of weird gimmicks in there. It's really fun. And we're like right now we're like in this really cool era of indie wrestling. There's so many different types of indie wrestling organizations in all different parts of the nation, and even like over in Europe now. So like it's really a really cool time for wrestling.
It's almost like the early '80s again, man. I mean, that's what I'm gathering. It's like all these little divisions and sects of like territorial wrestling before the McMahons. Before McMahon came over and took over everything. Right. There was like so many. There was like, if you looked at a map, it would be like, this territory did this thing, and Dusty Rhodes would go to all of them and just debut there, and Andre the Giant, whoever else. But yeah, it's kind of cool. I saw that too. Like I saw that there's Ring of Honor. I can't name them off right now, but I just
Right.
see always these different divisions, and like some of the wrestlers, at least the top tier guys, are like actually stars. And it's like for a while there was like WWF or bust, or WWE or bust. So that's cool that these athletes have a different outlet than just the main one.
Oh yeah, there's guys that are killing it on the indie scene, making
Yeah.
good livings, through the shows and through merch and everything. We're
Right.
definitely going through a nice little golden age for the independent wrestling circuits, and it's all really fun. And like I said, a lot of different organizations have their own identity. So if you don't like this one, then you might find another one that's cool, more to your liking,
Yep.
stuff like that.
Very cool. Very cool.
How did you how did you originally get into
Go-
wrestling, like when you were a kid?
Man, I mean, it was on TV.
Yeah.
And I love superheroes, and like my brother got into it with me too, and it all came down to it's like, well, most people that like comic books like wrestling too, because it's the closest thing that you have to superheroes in real life,
Right.
So I remember when this is a long time ago, but Triple H got hurt himself for a while, and he was gone so long I forgot. And all of a sudden, his music played, and he comes out, and he looks like a freak. He looks like Thor, man.
Right.
And it's like, it's cool. And so that just little things like that. I was already a grown man at that point, but just Macho Man and Rick Rude and Coco Beware and Steamboat and all that stuff growing up. That was really fun because it was like, yeah, like I said, I was so into comic books that it's just like it was the closest thing I had. I didn't realize that back then. That's why I liked it so much, but it just made sense. It was like good against evil, especially back then in the '80s. There wasn't that like how wrestling is now, where there's everything's a gray area.
Yeah.
Like everybody's like booing Cena and Roman Reigns because they're the good guys.
Right.
It's just weird. It's like I get it. There's a bunch of dudes that want to see that still wish the Attitude Era was there, but it's like PG again, but so they boo the good guy, and just whatever.
Who are some of your favorite wrestlers back in the day?
Randy Savage for sure was my favorite.
Oh yeah.
And he's from my hometown too, so that kind of like that was a cool thing about that. But yeah, Randy Savage I loved. Let's see who else. I like the Road Warriors and like Demolition. I like that like whole makeup
Yes.
superhero kind of like thing. That was like that was pretty cool. I like Steamboat. Like I like the High Flyers, but that still were like kind of bigger. Who else? I liked the heels. I liked Iron Sheik a lot. It was cool. He's cool. I love him on Twitter now, man. He's hilarious.
Yes.
And who else? I'm trying to remember, man. Big John Studd and Andre the Giant fights were cool to watch.
Right.
Man, I liked it all back then. I even liked Hulk Hogan and like that stuff. I mean, who didn't? Then later, I got I liked The Rock, of course, and I just thought he was really I thought he did a lot for the business.
Oh.
And everybody's like, oh, he's such a like a Hollywood guy now. But I mean, I thought it was him and Stone Cold that saved the business. I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I liked all that stuff. Yeah, the typical stuff, and then then like some of the smaller dudes later. I don't know. I can't remember right now. But yeah, I liked them all. That was like 80s and 90s. I loved it all.
Did you ever get into any of the stuff like in WCW or ECW?
WCW for sure. The whole NWO era. I watched that. That was pretty cool. I liked that Goldberg run. I thought they screwed it up at the end, but whatever.
Right.
That was pretty cool. I liked the whole NWO thing until it just got boring.
So there had too many people in it.
They made it. They ruined it. I've watched a lot of the documentaries on it and why it was ruined. It makes sense. You give the talent the right to make the stories. Of course, they're going to make it. they're not writers. They're the talent.
Right,
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
right.
whatever.
Yeah, that was yeah, the NWO was kind of like how I got back into wrestling at that time because I would watch it as a
Mhm.
kid in the 80s, early 90s, and then I kind of got out of it probably around the same time I got into hip hop. So
Right.
I
Sure.
started like
Sure.
listening to hip hop and stuff like that. But then it was like around 96, 97 is that I got back into wrestling because of the NWO. I was like, because like when Hogan turned heel and became Hollywood Hogan, that
Yeah.
thing that actually reached beyond like the wrestling world. That hit pop culture.
That was awesome.
And you
Yeah,
heard
man.
it
Absolutely.
everywhere, you know? And it was so awesome that when it happened that you're like everybody kind of started tuning in and you know, that's when, you know, the whole Monday Night Wars started and between
Yep.
them and like The Rock in Austin, that really like saved the business at the time.
Yep. Yep. I agree. That was fun. It was a lot of fun to watch on both sides, you know. And there were, like you said, brought in pop culture. We had Tyson and Dennis Rodman, Karl Malone, and then you know the just the writing in the beginning, at least at WCW, was really good, and then the writing got so good over in you know in WWE. I mean, I'm not a big Shawn Michaels fan, but I like Triple H
Yeah.
and like what they were doing with D-Generation X. You know, what you call it a ripoff of NWO or not? It was cool, and I liked it, and because the Monday Night War, like, you know, whatever people want to say about who won, who lost, the one thing that everybody lost is the wrestling fan lost. And the reason for that is because there was a competition. There was competition to stay good.
Yeah.
To keep it fun, to keep the storylines fresh, to keep it like, ooh, what are we gonna watch? What are we tuning into? Like that kind of thing. Like, whereas now it's like, you know, yeah, I get that there's all these small, like, you know, but as far as televised, you know, sports entertainment is concerned, you have one choice, you know,
Right.
and they can suck that week, and it's not like you can flip back to another channel. It's like if you want wrestling, that's what you got. So kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I liked it better when there was at least competition.
Yeah, because when WCW was going downhill and then eventually got bought by WWE, that just turned wrestling as a whole into shit, you know.
Yeah,
When
I agree.
2002, 2003, though, like I stopped watching at that time because like just the programming in general was just wasn't good, and just having WWF at that time after they bought out WCW just that almost just killed the business, the industry of
Yeah.
wrestling in its entirety because there was just no competition anymore,
Right.
no creativity going on, and it was just awful, man. It was a lot of things that kind of, you know, you didn't have any of those big stars from WCW coming over to WWF because they had these guaranteed contracts where they could just sit home and make money for
Yep.
another year or two.
Yep.
So it was just a lot of things that happened at that time. So I'm glad that we're at least back into a place where if you can find good wrestling somewhere, whether it's on a WWE or on their network or on all these independents who have and there's like these new streaming channels, and even you even have New Japan Pro Wrestling making a more of a global stamp now to where it's easier
cool.
to check it out now.
You know, I mean, I'm not saying that WWE is that bad either. I'm just saying that I don't really get into the characters yet. I mean, or like the new ones. I'm not really big on some of the characters. Like I'm not the Wyatt or whatever brother.
Yeah.
Whatever. I know that's like, and then the three characters that came out of the whatever Roman Reigns and
the Shield.
Yeah. Well, were they first? They were for a while. They were all three together.
Yeah, the Shield.
They were like the Shield. Yeah, I didn't like any of that stuff. Thought it was like whatever. It didn't really get into it. And I mean, Cena's fine. I at least I respect his like. I don't know. I mean, he's a he's a good athlete, and he
Right.
you know, he tries, and he sticks to his guns, and I'm cool with that. But I don't really care much for like any of the other guys. I heard Taker retired,
Yeah.
which is, you know, good for him. You know, what a cool career. I never really got that into him, but cool. And what Triple H is now just like kind of like behind the scenes, right?
Yeah, he's kind of an on-air character sometimes, but he's
Yeah.
more he's part of doing a lot of the developmental stuff in the background,
That's cool.
like the NXT
That's good.
brand and stuff like that. You know, he's the kind of like the main head and all that.
And you know, I liked it. I thought it was cool when Brock Lesnar came back, but then I realized, man, he's boring to watch. And it's like, he's like, he just wails on the other dude, and it's so unbelievable to see like him fight somebody like
Right.
like whoever. And it's like, dude, this is stupid. This is like when they used to have Andre the Giant fight like Jake the Snake Roberts, and Jake the Snake would win. I'd just be like, yeah, okay, like that. And they would just, so like every time they'd bring out Damien and Andre the Giant would run away. Dude, whatever. It's like, like that kind of stuff just makes me go, what? Yeah, okay, like Seth Rollins is going to be able to hold a freaking candle to Brock Lesnar. He's just going to run him over. Like, I thought there was that one Ryback character. I liked that dude, and then they got rid of him.
Right.
I thought Ryback versus Lesnar looked like a real. They could have done something cool with that if they would have just made Ryback babyface, you know, or whatever. I don't know. I think, yeah, Lesnar's another problem because he's such a name that he just does whatever he wants, and I don't know.
Right.
So, but
I kind of like Lesnar back in the day when he had a little bit of a sense of humor on the WWF programming, but now he just comes out and whatever.
Yeah, and just like acts like he doesn't want to be there, and like, yeah. I mean, I liked him in the very beginning when he didn't even talk.
Oh yeah, definitely.
When he was just with Heyman and he would just want to talk. I also like back around that time, there was one guy, I don't know if you'll remember him or not, but his name is Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, he's in
He was
TNA right now, in Impact. Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I thought he was a beast, man. I don't understand why they got rid of him. I thought he could have been a huge face. You know, I don't know. I didn't get it.
Yeah, and every once in a while, Lashley fights in Bellator MMA also.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's like a legit like MMA fighter also, and
That's cool.
Yeah, every once in a while he'll have a fight in Bellator. He won his last fight. I forget when it was, but yeah, he's mainly in he's been in TNA Impact for a while now. He's been like he's always kind of around the champion.
Well?
What's that?
Does TNA do well?
They're always kind of like in the past year is like the first time in a while that they've kind of had some positivity towards them due to Matt Hardy's broken Matt Hardy character. Have you heard about that?
No.
Okay, you remember the Hardy Boys from back in the day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, weren't they just at WrestleMania or something like that?
Yeah, they just came back to WWE and actually won the Raw Tag Team Champions. But
okay, cool.
About a year or so ago, Matt Hardy, after he got he lost a match to his brother Jeff, he created this character where he's kind of like where he's kind of emotionally broken, and in doing so, he sort of found his power and brilliance from what he says from a different era, a different being, higher being or whatever.
All right, cool.
And his voice is kind of like akin to. Do you remember how Triple H used to talk way back in the day with the accent?
Oh yeah, like when he was Hunter House. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
very like a French debutante kind of thing.
Yeah, it's very similar to that, but maybe a little bit more weirder. And he always used to talk, and he would like pronounce things in really weird ways. But this broken Matt Hardy, and they went out of their way to make everything like super like crazy and cheesy, and
Nice.
It's amazing. It's so much. It's so funny and so entertaining. Like go on YouTube and like and find any of the Broken Matt Hardy stuff on because they
Cool.
like TNA posted all that stuff. There's like there's this one thing called Tag Team Apocalypto where
Mm.
it's this weird tag team extravaganza match out in his field, out in his compound. He says, like the best way I could describe Tag Team Apocalypto is if you gave a group of guys all the best drugs and you videotape them. It is like it's the craziest thing, but TNA like they got a lot of positivity to their company towards because of that, a lot of attention, but due to like some contract stuff and everything, the Hardys left TNA, and then recently TNA just got bought out by another company called Anthem. They dropped the TNA, so they're just Impact now, and they're kind of going through a sort of a transitional period right now.
That's cool. That's cool. I kind of gotta go, but yeah, man. I mean, it's I'm hoping to get back into it now that I'm like kind of like on a regular schedule where I can watch on Mondays and Tuesdays and stuff.
Right.
So looking forward to it. So
Great. Yeah, it's been great talking with you. Where can people find you information about the band online?
LuckyBoysConfusion.net, and then Lucky Boys Confusion Band on Facebook, at Lucky Boys Music on Twitter. And just, you can just Google Lucky Boys Confusion. We're the only band with that kind of name, so pretty easy to find us, right?
Definitely, definitely. All right, thanks for chatting with me, and good luck with everything.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, man.
All right.
Later.
Bye.
All right, now that was my interview with Stubby from Lucky Boys Confusion. Their new album, Stormchasers, is out right now, so go please pick that up. It's a good listen. And like always, I'm joined with my co-host, MMA connoisseur, pro wrestling connoisseur, Detroit hip-hop artist, and proud Marine, Vstylez. What up?
What's good, K-Fresh? You all right, man?
I'm alive. I'm feeling good today. I mean, I'm ready to talk about some stuff. There's things going on. People coming, people going, people we might not see for a while,
Man.
Crazy.
Say it.
Okay, to start things off, I want to start just kind of go like totally different thing. Something really hit the internet today, and that was kind of it's kind of in our old sort of thing of our hip hop thing. It's this whole Lil Yachty versus Joe Budden thing that was going on. Did you see this shit?
Yeah, I seen it today, early today, about 1 o'clock.
What's your thoughts about that?
Well, I think Lil Yachty was handling himself very well, and I am what you people would consider an old head.
Yeah.
So let's set this straight right now. I thought Lil Yachty handled himself very well.
Right.
All until, and he recovered a little bit, but I feel like he handled himself great until they asked him the question, are you in the 360 deal? And he said, I don't know. As an artist, as a person who has went through many years and having ups and downs and knowing contract language and knowing just, knowing, because music, just keep it 100 is the easy part.
Yeah.
The business is the part that you must understand. Otherwise, you'll get crushed in the industry. And so for him to say, I know I got good lawyers and I don't know. Totally. Now, at the same time, this kid is 18, 19 years old, so it is possible that he don't know.
Yeah.
But
I don't know,
the
man.
looks
That
he's
I don't think that gives anybody a pass to not know something. You should be learning
yeah.
at this
See,
time, you know.
I'm with you on that, but all the stuff that he was popping about being part of Nautica and as far as having, you know, whatever role he has in the new on the new fashion line that they have, the Target ads, all that stuff that, you know, he was talking about. It all looked great until he said he didn't know if he had a 360 deal. Because if he has a 360 deal, I could only imagine that that capital, you know, and he still really don't even understand because his little boutique label was nothing compared to what, you know, capital can do for him. You know, it gives them a stage. It gives them a huge stage, man. So for him not even to understand that, it's like, wow, okay, well, maybe this kid can learn from it. But I still, you know, I agree with Joe Budden. That's where I'm at with it. You know, I mean, he did articulate himself well, but he still sounds like a kid that don't know.
Right.
And
going through like generations and generations of young talent being ripped off by the music industry, and we're still in 2017 seeing people like just sort of like sell their soul for fame or not know what they're into completely. Like, I can't believe we're still actually having this discussion, you know, that there's still people that will jump into all of this without, you know, being a student of it also, you know, he should, you know.
That's the scary part, man.
Right.
Like I said, he was doing great. He was doing great all up until that moment of truth when he said he didn't know if he was, you know, if he was in a 360 deal. Everything he said up until that point didn't even matter no more.
Right.
It was like, wow. The look on Joe Budden's face was just,
but
that
see,
shit was priceless.
But see, with Joe Budden, like a lot of times in this time, he says the right things, but he doesn't know how to say them properly. So he comes off like that old head sometimes, where he's saying the right things, but sometimes you don't want to listen to him because of the way he's saying them.
Yeah, true. You talking about Joe Budden?
Yes.
I like his intensity, man. If that was me asking questions, that probably would have been me, and I'm being 100%.
I mean, it's great that there's still people that have that intensity in hip hop these days, because everybody is so on their tippy toes because they don't want to lose their money or their opportunities and stuff like that, you know. So, but sometimes he can be a little in that situation, you know, like you said. Lil Yachty was he was handling himself well until that question came up, and when you pair that compared to what, you know, Joe Budden, how he was reacting, I guess it could all come off as wrong.
That shit was beautiful.
That
shit is beautiful because look, because once he said that he didn't know, like Joe Budden kind of looked like, you know, he was asking questions,
right?
And they were going back and forth, and it almost looked like Joey was kind of bagging down, you know, but still holding court on his beliefs. But it was like he almost was kind of like softening his stance up on how he felt about him because the way how he was handling himself.
Right.
He handled it. He didn't handle himself like like if that was Migos, that would be a different interview. Yeah, I'm just being real. No diss to him, but I just think it would have been a different, you know, if that was Lil Uzi, that would have been a different interview. This guy sounds smart. As a kid that's 18, 19 years old, he sounds he sounds like a kid that could possibly be on his. I mean, he's already on his way to wonderful things. That kid's a millionaire, so I can't say anything about that kid. But he sounds smarter. I don't know, how people feel about it, but he sounds smarter than the average. He sounds smarter than his contemporaries, people of his age, and the people he's competing against. So, yeah, it just was like, wow. Up until that point, Joy was kind of like softening his stance. You felt it in the interview because he was giving him props on certain stuff, giving him dap, giving him pound. But then he said, that's it. And it was like, everything that he said, everything Joey said is back to what he was saying. Like, nigga, you don't know. Like, you don't know. And he still, even after he still didn't bow down. The kid still didn't bow down. He still handled himself well, but he's just naive, man. I was just talking up to, this just what the new thing is. And, in fact, I'm not even gonna respond to certain things anymore because a lot of stuff is not for me. I can only respond to stuff that I feel like is within my stage, So, good for him, it ain't for me to like him having red braids and, diamonds in his mouth and, elementary raps and stuff. That ain't for me, No. My son don't even like that, man. My son is 12 and he listens to LL Cool J, Cool Mo D, and you know what he told me? He told me a couple of weeks ago. I put it on Instagram. He was like, "Dad," he said, "You know who my favorite rapper is?" And I'm looking at him all proud, like, "Yeah, go ahead, say it." He was like, "You know who my favorite rapper is?" And I was like, "Who, Cam? Go ahead, tell you that. Who?" And I got the camera on, and he was like, "Raekwon."
Ooh.
He was like, "But you're a close second, though." And I couldn't even get. And I couldn't even get mad at that because it was the realest shit. And all I could do was say, "Hey, well, at least it's Raekwon."
Right.
Raekwon.
Not like you said, I don't know who, but
he ain't say no garbage. See, that was the beauty of it. He didn't say no garbage. So, yeah, but I ain't mad at that kid, man. I used to spend energy on
right.
What? That shit ain't for me.
And that's
for me.
And that's a thing that I've kind of something I decided the past couple years is that I realized that I'm not I'm a music writer. I interview people, but I'm not a critic, and I don't have that many sort of passionate views on what things should be. So I'm not gonna try to be that. So I just kind of finally let it go, any sort of feelings of being a critic, and like what I like, and just if there's an artist out there that maybe isn't too up to the purest standards or whatever, but if he's resonating some way with a younger audience in a positive way or something, then I can respect that, and I can be like, yo, that's cool. There's a lot of rock bands that people will talk shit. They're like, oh, they're just another metalcore band, another Warped Tour band or whatever. But I'll go to the Warped Tour and see how passionate their fans are, and I'll be like, you know what? And I might like these bands also, and I'll be like, I don't care what anybody says. I like this band. I see that they're resonating with their audience. So you can't help but like that and respect that, But
and that's why I fuck with you, Kelly. That's why I fuck with you, man. Because most people they can't understand stuff like that when you're an artist, and they on the outside looking in, and they don't understand certain things. They think that if you don't have 1 million followers, then you're nothing. And to me, having one fan is great because I know a lot of people that don't know. I know a lot of people that don't have no fans. So I feel you 100% on that, man. 100% on that. That's great.
And it's it's just bad mojo to have like hate and negativity towards a music artist. Like that just sounds
no doubt.
that just sounds dumb to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. Unless that music artist like killed your dog or something. I don't know. Like I like
It ain't. It just that shit ain't for me. I know it ain't for me. He one less dude on that's not on the street doing negative.
right.
He's doing like he got his order, regardless if he got a 360 deal or not. There's still more money that he's dealing with than any of us is dealing with.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, you got to big him up on that, man. You know, it ain't for me though. I don't fuck with that. You know, I'm a bumpy knuckles MOP. You know, Knots type of guy. That's just
Right.
who I am.
And speaking of
You know,
music that we're into, how excited are you for this Kool G rap album?
oh, look. I'm super geek because not one. I mean, for one, anybody that's familiar with the music that I do, me and Moss got a couple records. You know, I shot videos for.
Yeah.
We got a real close relationship. That's my partner. Me and him plan on working on a project together real soon. I only, you know, I'm just gonna keep it real. You know, as the older I get, the more, you know, I see that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still dope, but the more I see that, you know, I do music because I love doing it. I don't necessarily have to do music, but I love rocking. That's what it's all about for me. But me and Moss will do a project before I stop. And we've already talked about it, and it's just a matter of time before that happens. But back to him and Kool G Rap. I knew that he was doing this project probably about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
We was talking one day. He was like, he's like, man, I'm working on this Kool G Rap album. I was like, you doing a Kool G Rap fucking album? And this was before, well, okay, I'll say it. Kool G on my new album too, you know, Thornton Melon, you know, coming out soon.
Awesome.
Shameless plug. But I knew that was happening. And Moss is one of the most humblest dudes you will ever meet. His grind is pretty simple. He's a record collector. He does beats and he resells records. That's it. That's what he does. He buys old stuff, and he reissues the old stuff, music. That's what he does over in Canada. And he's my definition of a very hard worker. So for him to be doing a project like this to me, you know, Kool G is definitely in my top 5. Arguably, you could say he's top 3. Arguably, you could say he's number 1. But I mean, because if you look at what he did from the very beginning, everybody else adapted to what, you know, there probably wouldn't be no Nas if it weren't for Kool G Rap. Nobody rhyming like Kool G Rap, you know, prior to Kool G Rap. And that's a fact. And
no argument.
If you say, yeah, you can't even argue that. So when you hear dudes talking about mafia stuff and this, that, and the other, and da, Kool G was doing it 20 years prior to that. And if you listen to his rhymes today from what he did when we was coming up, they still sound better than 99% of the shit that's coming out. So with you know, and that 1% is the Royces, the Elzais, the you know, people don't put this dude in there, but Fonte and Black Thought. So it's a small 1% that still knocks it out, you know. But Kool G Rap is the godfather of anything mafioso. So to see two of my friends working together is, for me, it's like all I can do is smile, man, because they good dudes, man. So I'm looking forward to it. I already pre-ordered my shit, and I talked to Knots. I talked to him the other day, and we talking about linking up soon, man. I might go down to Toronto, man, and do some recording with him, but that's my guy, man. I love. Did I say Knots or did I say Moss?
I'm not sure, but
okay. Well, let me correct it now.
It's
my man Moss in
Moss.
Toronto. I'm gonna go down there soon because he's gonna be on the Thornton Miller album. Then me and him, we gonna do a collab album. So yeah, man, I'm super geek for it, man. That's what hip hop's all about, man. Y'all go hit some real raw shit.
Yeah, man.
And if you haven't heard the new single with him, Lil Fame, and Freeway,
bro,
y'all go check it out. Google that shit. That shit is nasty.
Man, they got a lot of dope guests on that too, man. They got a joint with Conway and Gunn on it, man. Shoot.
I'm jealous. Look, those are my new favorite dudes right there, man.
Kool G rap, freaking Conway and Gunn, man, dog.
Those are my two favorite new dudes right there. And
right.
I feel like a late bloomer because I don't listen to a lot of shit because nothing grabs my ear, But when I heard these motherfuckers, man, oh my God, man. Oh man, yeah. Yeah, I fucks with them, man.
Oh man, and you got Cormega on here. You got you got Sean Price on there, man. Rest in peace, man. There's Raekwon, man, Noriega, shoot, man. And man, he has someone on here who is majorly slept on, man. AG the Coroner. Have you heard him?
Oh, AG the Coroner is nasty, man.
He is mad slept on.
I got a boy that worked for that label, man. And yeah, I'm super familiar with him. His bars is nice, and he's definitely slept on. But I like AG the Coroner.
Yeah, man, he's mad slept on, man. So yeah,
mm-hmm.
I'm excited for this Kool G rap album, man. I'm excited.
That is my type of album.
Right, this is my type of shit.
So yeah, man, I'm super geek for it as well, man. And for anybody out there that be talking that garbage, ain't no good hip hop out there, man. Open your eyes up, man, because there's a lot of good hip hop out here, man. You just gotta, get your head out the dirt, man, and start Googling shit, and it's all type of resources out here for you to find out what's really dope, man. But Kool G rap, man, it's like I said, I'm super excited because he's a cool dude, and Moss is my guy. I've been, during the MySpace era, when we first started using the internet for this music shit.
Yeah.
I did a joint called I did a remix of a joint called First Arise that me and my boy Big Gov got. Shout out to Big Gov. Me and Gov did it first, and then it was me, OC, and Royce. So I had the vocals, and I'm like, you know what? Let me reach out to Moss, man. I was fucking with Moss since the well-known Asshole.
The first Obi records, man.
People don't know about that. Shout out to Obi Trice too. Detroit, what up, though? But he had did the well-known Asshole. But I was a fan of his, and my boy Boom fucked with Moss, and Boom was like, man, V, you should holler at Moss, And, we from the D, man. We limited, man. So, at this time, man, I don't really know, what a person gonna say, but I'm gonna reach out anyway. So I reached out to him on MySpace. I was like, man, how would you like to remix this record I got with, OC and Royce? Now, at the time, I'm like, he may not know who the fuck Vstylez is, but he damn sure know who Royce the 5'9" and OC is.
Right.
He don't. So So he jumped at it. Well, I ain't gonna say he jumped at it. That's not, that I ain't gonna say. But he agreed to it immediately. Soon he seen it, But yeah, he jumped at it. Shit, he jumped at it.
Right.
And I mean, no, and that ain't saying it, but he jumped at it. I mean, because he a producer and he want his beats on dope, he want dope dudes on his shit. So
Right.
yeah, he jumped at it. So that started our relationship to where that's my brother. I love Moss, man. So yeah, any good look for him, it makes me smile because I I ain't gotta tell you.
No.
That's my man, I root for to rock with me, and you met me not like how we would meet normally, and Moss just a dope dude, man. He real dope and super low key, and he don't be caught up in that bullshit. He just do what he do, and he keep it moving, man. So when he told me, he was like, "P, I'm doing Kool G's," I was like, "Huh?" And I was like, "Man, you need to," he's like, "Well, I see what I can do," and I didn't meet Kool G through Moss. I wound up meeting him through my man DJ Butter.
Okay.
And me and Kool G, linked up, and he is gonna be on one of my super records that I have, and I'll just leave it at that.
That's what's up, man. All right, I'm excited to hear that also, man.
Shout out Toronto, man. I'm coming up there soon.
Toronto, man. Toronto's dope, man, and
Cardinal official all day.
Cardinal official.
I ain't no Drake dude. I'm a Cardinal official dude.
Cardinal official, man. That's the real king of Toronto.
That's right, damn it. Kardinal. Get familiar.
Old time killing.
Oh man, dude. Yeah, I'm a Cardinal fan, man. Get my tattoo on my arm. Yeah, his new album. Oh my God, he got some joints on the last album he put out, man.
I need to check that out. I never checked that out, so I definitely need to go
You
go back.
never what?
Nah, man.
Look. Moby teasing me because I watched with Cardinal. He's like, "You like Cardinal?" So I'm like, "Yeah, you like," and I like this dude too. You like Zero.
Right.
Demographics, man. Kardinal is by far, when you talk about hip hop history.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so glad we talk. I'm so glad we switch it up. Thank you, man. This is so.
Yeah.
When you talk about hip hop history, you talking about one of the most slept on artists of all time. Not in Canada, but in the United States. Cardinal official by far. There's certain artists that it don't matter whatever they drop. I support them. Cardinal official is a dude. Whenever he drops some shit, I support him because he is mad talented, man. He makes beats. He's a b-boy. He DJs. He spits. I've always said, and I don't like putting him in his own category because I thought, I don't like comparing him with people because, he's his own dude with his own spin. But if he was anybody, he would be, in my opinion, the Busta Rhymes of Canada.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, and
because he go ahead.
No, and the thing with Cardinal officials, I always thought he mirrored like the real culture that comes from Toronto in his music.
Yeah. Man, look, I've been rocking with that dude forever. I remember I met him at St. Andrews one time. My man Cheetah Penn brought him down there when he was he was on some promo, and he's a tall dude, man. So when I seen him, I was like, dog, I fucks with you, man. And when he started talking, he really does. He he got the whole West Indian, Trinidadian, Jamaican thing going on, man, to where when he talks, that's what he sounds like. You know? So it's like, wow, but he was a super cool dude, man. I actually, I want him on my album, man. That's Kardinal is a bucket list joint of mine, man. I got a couple dudes scratched off my bucket list, man, but Kardinal, man, while all y'all out there loving Drake, and ain't no hate or nothing like that, but I'm just simply saying, overall, in my opinion, and my opinion does matter, you know, Kardinal is easily my favorite artist over there. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's all good. No, I agree with you.
We on some music shit, man. That's where we at right now. That's why,
Wonderful. Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. I've always been a big Cardinal Offishall fan. And no, like I said, man, he was definitely just on, like, his music was a mirror of, like, the real culture there, all the different ethnicities out there.
Make sure you tag him in this podcast.
Man. Definitely, yeah.
I've been on Not's head, like, dog, you need to holler at your man Kardinal, man, because, I want him on this, and, I'm waiting. So if you hearing this shit, Kardinal, we need a link, man. All you got to do is Google, and I hate to even say it like that, Vstylez, and you'll see my extended resume. No garbage.
Right.
Only with dudes that you affiliate yourself with. Let's work if we can.
Definitely.
Shameless plug again.
All right, switching topics to the world of MMA. Today, there was a big Nate Diaz interview with Ariel Helwani. It's a special edition of the MMA Hour. Basically,
Nate was wonderful.
Dog, how can you not love Nate Diaz, man? Like, dude, like
the realest dudes, look, real. They real dudes, man. I fucks with both of them.
Man, basically he's like, UFC bullshit. I'm probably not gonna fight for the rest of the year. Cannabis money is being thrown at me. I'm gonna go race.
Mm-hmm.
But nah, man, he was keeping it real. There's so many things, man. He's like, I'm not gonna be, all up in Gucci suits. I'm gonna put that money back in my mom, and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Like, he was definitely talking on, the negative culture that's, within the UFC right now and how it's just spreading. And you got all these guys complaining now about how things are, and he was making a lot of valid points, man, like so many valid points.
Yeah, and he ain't lying. I'm telling you, man, it's a lot of people over there that's not happy. And fortunately for somebody like Nate, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Fortunately for somebody like Nate has been a part of probably the biggest pay-per-view of all time. So he's sitting on some millions.
Right.
He's sitting on some millions. So he can afford to say, this ain't no shot at him at all, because I'm that good for him. Shit, he deserved that shit, man. Especially when a year prior from him linking up with Conor, Dana comes out publicly and says, well, he's not a needle mover. Well, guess what? That motherfucker's a needle mover now. Look at what he's doing. Look at what he's done. Numbers speak. So he's sitting on some millions. Rumor has it he made about $15 million for that second Conor fight. So he's sitting on some bread. So he don't have to sit up here and say, "Hey man, I got to worry about this training camp. He ain't got to do that because he can afford to just be like, man, fuck that, I'm going on vacation. And he recouping his money from cannabis shows. How great is that?
Right.
So he ain't really spending no bread.
Right, man.
Dudes like that don't fly themselves nowhere. They get flown by whomever wants them. So he don't have to spend bread. Just looking at, at least from what I could see, from the Ariel Hawani spot, he don't look like he spent a lot of money because motherfuckers send him shit.
Right.
and that's how that shit really be. Motherfuckers be sending. Man, I'm telling you, bro. You will be amazed at some of the stuff that I get from people. Be like, wow, damn, who was sending this? Oh shit, man. Have a likeness of myself, or you got some dude that just really into your shit, and it's. For me, it's like, wow, this dude is crazy. But you sit back and think about it, it's like, well, shit, man. Imagine if I had a million motherfuckers like this. So, I ain't mad at him. That dude getting dudes that sending him custom Nikes, dog. Are you kidding me?
Right, man. He
getting sent custom Nikes, and they the real McCoys. That's the. Like, wow, man, that's a whole nother world, man. So, you're talking to a dude that has watched that kid since he won the Ultimate Fighter, man. So, and if you look at him and Nick,
yeah,
Nick was always the dude that we looked at. Nate has slowly surpassed his brother. Maybe that might be because of inactivity, but he has become this cult guy that people root for regardless because they like his style. Right. So, salute Nate Diaz, man. Salute Nate Diaz. What we need, man? You know what we need when you edit this?
Yeah.
You can edit me saying, you can edit me saying this shit out, but we need, like when we say Q stuff, like salute. If you can find the hand clap effect where you hear audience like just clapping. I think it would add like, wow, okay, yeah, they stepping it up a minute. Okay, well, so I'm gonna do it again. Hold up. So, salute Nate Diaz. Right, exactly. See, you feel me?
Right.
Real shit.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm happy for him though, man.
And I'm glad that he's like, and I'm glad that he's saying that like.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm glad that he's saying like, if I'm gonna fight again, you better, give me a good offer, and I agree with him about like everybody talking about this.
Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, with that, and just even like doing the trilogy with Conor, like, and we've said it many times, while on paper it's 1-1. It's arguably 2-0 on
2-0. It's 2-0 to me. It ain't 1-1 at all.
Right, and
it's 2-0.
And it's 2-0 in his mind. So why would he want to have a third fight?
Yep. Mhm.
Like, I agree with him on that.
And I'm with Nate on that, man. Straight up, I'm straight up with Nate on that, man, because he didn't lose that second fight, man. It was given to Conor.
Man, and I saw somebody post all like the scorecards that all the writers do and everything during those fights, and like most of the writers gave it to Conor also. I'm like, I don't know what fight they were watching, man. Like,
a majority of writers are dick writers,
right, man?
If Conor would have won the fight, even if it didn't involve a KO or anything like that, if it was a decision, I would have said that shit. Yeah, he outworked him. Even if I didn't feel like, even if I wasn't rooting for that dude, I would give it up for him, man. a lot of dudes are ball riders. We got a lot of biased Skip Bayless motherfuckers out there.
Right, and that was something that I was like last week when I texted you about like all like the negativity in the UFC and how it just is very aggravating. A part of that thinking for me also was like I was listening to a lot of the podcasts and like following a bunch of the people like from the MMA media, and I'm like, what the hell is going on with these people, man? I'm like, it. I was starting to get aggravated just because, first off, it's like, it just seems like the same things are being talked about over and over and over again. And the fighters are talking about the same things over and over and over again. And it almost gets aggravating. You're like, okay, there's nothing new that anybody's saying, but like they're just like the media is just throwing all these stuff up to try to get clicks or whatever. It's all aggravating to me. So I had to literally like unfollow and quit listening and stuff, so much stuff, if I'm going to be able to actually enjoy this shit.
Oh, indeed. I feel you.
Right,
I feel you. Lot of dick riding going on. Lot of dick riding.
Okay, did you see that video that Paige Van Sant did?
I didn't see the video. I seen a picture of her looking like a skimpy, a bad skimpy ad for what is it?
Oh, for
what am I looking for? A bad skimpy ad for well, whatever lingerie.
But the thing was, I actually saw the whole video, and it's not as bad. I don't think it's as bad as other people were saying. You know, I mean,
I didn't see a video. I just seen a still pic, and they were talking about how it was she did her own basically Reebok ad.
Yeah.
And I didn't see the actual video. I just thought they were pictures.
Right.
But I did read the comments of Hill and was there Angela Hill?
Yeah.
And a couple other people. You know, it sounds like. I mean, don't get me wrong, but Paige has to understand that when you're a young person like what she is, and you come in and you have a certain look,
yeah,
and you're getting opportunities that most girls don't get that are professional fighters, then there's going to be some hate from people that fight just like you. So, my suggestion to Paige is, you need haters. You know, get yours. Your window is small. So if your window is small to make bread, I don't really think her window is small. I think her window is huge because she's a fighter, but she also was on Dash with the Stars. And no matter if she wins or loses, she's ratings.
Right.
So,
and she also wants to transition to WWE if possible. So
exactly.
Right. It's gonna be stuff like that, you know.
Her shit is different than most fighters and
right.
most women fighters, and they bitter because they only limited to throwing hands and kicks and jiu-jitsu and wrestling. So Paige, you need to keep doing what she's doing. It seems like she has the correct handlers that's been, over her career. So keep doing what she's doing, man. And, if it transitions to a bigger payday anywhere else, go for it. I think we ought to get out of the, I've just come to the realization that I can't worry about stuff that don't have shit to do with me. And,
right. And that's what I was getting from all that. I'm like, yo, like all these people just like hating. It wasn't even that, it wasn't that bad of a video. I had no problems with it, And it's obvious like she's gotten certain opportunities from Reebok, from the UFC. that the other
'Cause
fighters
you
haven't got.
arguably could say she was gonna get that anyway because she's a fine motherfucker.
Right.
So when you're a fine motherfucker like that, then it don't matter if you put on gloves, you put on boots. She was put on a stage where other people recognized her even without knowing if she could fight or not. So take advantage of that shit. Get your bread, man. Don't let them prostitute you. You pimp them. Period.
Right.
And it seems like her handlers got her going in the right direction, man. I just hope, from a person that's a fan, I mean, even though I don't fight, man, I consider myself a fighter. In a lot of different ways. Taekwondo, wrestling, Marine Corps, hoorah. But I want to see her improve as a fighter, and I think she wants to improve as a fighter. So that's sexy to me, man, to be a fine motherfucker and want to fight.
Yes.
She's had some highlight reel, victories. So
yes.
I used to be one of them people who'd be like, man, she wouldn't be getting that if she didn't look like that. But you know what? If I was in her position, I'd be doing the same shit. Fuck that. Window is small. Get yours. Right.
And for the most part, everybody who's been around her says that she is a sweetheart and she has a really good attitude,
I ain't never heard nothing bad about her. It still wasn't bad, but I know her and Cody used to date, the current lightweight champion right now.
Yeah.
And they ain't together no more. So Paige, if you hear this right now, man, you got a dude in Detroit that look at you and be like, "What's up, girl?" I could be your dad. I could be your daddy too, but yeah.
bro. Nah, man.
100, baby, keeping it 100, baby. Yeah.
Well, speaking of women that I would love to take on a date.
Here we go.
No, I'm not going there yet.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going there yet.
God.
Not
Thank
yet.
God.
But and it looks like we might be getting a well, it looks like our homegirl Cyborg might be finally getting some sort of a fight coming up against someone I would totally take on a date in Megan Anderson.
Oh, you know what? I looked at her too. I like the tattoos. I like all of that. But you know what I also thought?
Right. What?
She gonna get beat the fuck down. And, everybody got a chance. I mean, you're a fighter. Look, let me say this the politically correct way.
Yeah.
All fighters have a chance.
Wait, and what did James Ellsworth say? Any man with two hands has a fighting chance. Any woman with two hands got a fighting chance.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? But Megan Anderson's pretty much been the first woman to actually, kind of, actually say something back to Cyborg without it being all wishy-washy, man. So
but Chris been calling her out for a couple months now.
Yeah.
So it ain't like she just was like, yeah, they good my guy. Chris been saying this. She been saying it. So I'm glad she's finally stepped up and said, yeah, okay, well, let's do it. But obviously, it got to be something in it for her.
Right.
I hope it's not the interim.
Yeah, they haven't said yet what it was going to be. No, it's not clear about what it's going to be. If it's going to be just, if Durandamy is going to be vacating the belt, or if it's going to be an interim thing. But
they should go ahead and strip old girl because it's obvious she don't want these problems.
No.
In her life, I don't think she wants these problems in her life. I think Chris Cyborg will put them paws on her. That's what I think. That's just, from a person that's been looking at Chris Cyborg for a long time, way before people got hip to her when she fought Gina Carano. I've been looking at Chris Cyborg, you know, when she was married to her husband, you know, when she, you know, yeah, she had a crowd, but she didn't have a crowd that she has now. So, yeah, I rocks with Chris. And Chris is, you know, whoever her opponent is, next fight, I'm gonna pray for you. You know, I'm gonna send you a couple hallelujahs. You know, because I just don't see how you win.
Well, if it's Megan Anderson,
I was almost hoping it was Holly Holm. Almost was hoping it was Holly Holm,
right.
But
nah.
You know, it ain't Holly. Holly, no, and I like Holly. Look, I always say I take Holly over Ronda, but Holly don't want these problems.
Nah. But if it's Megan Anderson that goes against Cyborg, I will take Megan Anderson out on a date, win or lose.
Oh yeah, that's all good. I take on a date too. I take on a date. Look, I take on a date before they fight. Now, come on, girl, let's hook up. Let's hook up before you get in that square dance. Well, you know what? I would take her out even after the fight because you're gonna need somebody to lay your head on your shoulder when you like, well, what happened? And I could just keep that shit 100. And she fucked you all up. First off, she hit you with a right hand that just changed everything. You didn't see it? Oh, man, hold on. I got it on video, man. Hold on, let me let you know. See right here? You see this right here? Okay, let me rewind. You missed that. I'll be explaining all that shit. She'd be like, will you trade me next fight? I'd be like, I don't know, man. It's Chris Cyborg, man. I don't really have a plan for Chris Cyborg, man.
Right.
You know, maybe give her a bad supplement.
That's cold, man. That's cold, man. But
I'm just saying, look, that ain't against Chris Cyborg, but that's the only way I see somebody beating her. There ain't no diss to her. That's a giving her props because ain't nobody about to beat that ass. Nah. Dude.
Okay.
Ain't happening.
All right. Speaking of women's MMA, and I guess not to be outdone by Bellator, it was just announced that the next Ultimate Fighter is going to crown the 125-pound champion for the UFC's women's division.
Well, you know, you got to do something. When Bellator come out and announce that they just signed 6 fighters to compete in that same division.
Right.
So you have to do something to, you know, and that ain't nothing but a little palm move. UFC, up until this point, haven't announced any big fights in 5 months.
Right.
Has there been any big fights in the last 5 months? Anthony Rumble Johnson in DC. I don't really consider it. I mean, don't get me wrong of this. That's not like it wouldn't be like what Nate Diaz would do.
Right. And who knows when this GSP Bisping fight's gonna actually happen that they announced. So
Bisping is gonna milk this shit until he can't milk it no more.
But
he is the less out of all champions ever in UFC history. He's the most he don't deserve that. He beat the champion, sure he did. He beat Luke Rockholm. You can't hate on that.
Right.
So in a sense, okay, yeah, maybe he does. But when you obviously not fighting the number one contender because you're looking for a big payday, that's some whack ass shit. And when George St. Pierre picks you as a fighter he wants to come back against, that should make you feel like, wait a minute, hold on, this nigga look at me like I'm a chump. I'm the champion. Yeah, you are, but not really. And he's going to get beat. He didn't lose to Dan Henderson, but technically he did. And Dan Henderson is in his 40s. I just think Michael Bisping, he be doing too much. And he don't do too much. Getting a win against Dan Henderson, who you almost got knocked out against.
Right.
Again. That man, Dan Henderson, got a logo that's famous because of your knockout. A diving punch. And he made that his logo. And you're the UFC champion. How am I supposed to look at you, son? Huh?
Right.
Yeah, that's not good, man. But yeah, I'm not a Michael Bisping fan. I think he might be a good actor, but he's definitely a good actor on the fighter aspect because GSP is going to beat him. His time is very limited, so he should cherish it.
Word. All right. Switching topics into the world of pro wrestling, and yes, I'm about to talk about what you thought I was about to talk about.
Here we go.
Another person that I would totally take out on a date, as this past weekend, the goddess of Raw, Alexa Bliss.
Oh my God.
Defeated King Mo's favorite in Bailey.
Oh, yeah. I'm with that. Go ahead.
And I was very, 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 very happy when that happened. I couldn't get to my Instagram fast enough to post about it and tag you and Mo into it. Dude, I totally missed out. I totally missed paying attention to the Seth Rollins Samoa Joe fight because I was so busy dealing with King Mo's delusions about Bailey.
Dude, look, he hit me up today. He calls me. He says, "Man, V, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm fucked up, man. I'm real fucked up right now." I'm like, "Dog, what's wrong? What's wrong, dog? What's wrong?" He was like, "Man, I'm gonna send you this link, man. Tell me what you think I should do, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do." So I'm like, "Dog, you good? You good? You good?" He like, "Man, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, man. I'm fucked up, V." I was like, "Nigga, I got you. Dog, he sent me a link to Bailey had an injury on Raw. I said, "Are you fucking kidding me, dog? I thought this was some real shit. You gonna send me some shit about this motherfucker?"
He sent me the same link, man. He sent me the same link, and we were going back and forth for hours in regards to that stuff, and me talking about how amazing Alexa Bliss is, and then him talking shit.
Oh my God, yeah, man. Yeah, he rocks with Bailey, man. He's like, "You motherfucker, y'all just don't like Trump." And
calling us Trump
like
supporters,
Mexican.
man.
I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with it? That ain't got shit to do with it. I said, nobody likes a female John Cena. Unless you a John Cena fan. I was like, and I don't fuck with Alexa Bliss, so fuck her too. So I was on some Nia Jax shit. I want to see better on Nia Jax because she a big chick. And I think she can break barriers for women who feel a certain way about their body types and
Right.
da 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 da. He like, he all Bailey, but it just killed me how the whole conversation started. He like, man, you gotta help your boy, man. I'm fucked up, B. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I've only heard him talk like this one other time, and that's when he had his staph infection, like in 2009, 2010. And I'm like, dog, what the fuck is you talking about, man? What are you talking about? You good? Man, I don't know, V, man. So I'm worried. He sent me a fucking link, and it's Bailey with an injury. Fuck out of here with that, man. I'm like, dog, you set me up real good with some.
Oh shoot.
Real good. Yeah. He was like, man, give me Renzo's number, man, so I can hit him up. I was like, yeah. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Get him too.
Yeah, we went back and forth. We went back and forth for a couple hours, man, on that.
Oh, look, I know. He had his daughter in his hand, and he was talking shit because he had his daughter when I was talking to him. So I'm like, he's like, I ain't going nowhere. I said, okay. Okay. You go right ahead. Fuck Bailey and fuck Alexis Bliss.
Man, look here. You can't besmirch. You can't besmirch the goddess of Raw, which is Alexa Bliss.
I knew this was coming too. You was gonna defend her.
Man,
okay,
of course, man. Like, but I gotta say though, man. Between the pay-per-view, between Raw and SmackDown this week, there was a lot of good wrestling going on. There was some good stuff going on this week. I really enjoyed.
It was.
That the main event on Raw really progressed.
That was great.
It progressed and started a lot of new stuff going on right now, and
that was great.
And it was executed so well. To your point, you're like, it was a great match, but then there was all this interference that happened at the end with Samoa Joe, attacking Seth Rollins, and then Bray Wyatt coming in, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, dude, this is.
I didn't see that coming.
No, I didn't, and I was just like, oh, like there's all this stuff going on, but it was executed so well that now you got three different feuds that will continue or start at this point, which there hasn't been that sort of continuity on Raw for a while now. So that was super cool.
And these are going to be big matches. Big matches. So imagine having those 3 matches on a pay-per-view. One match would sell, but having all the matches is wow, it's a no-brainer.
I'm super psyched, to see who can go on between Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
That's actually really exciting, man. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Oh, shoot. Oh, awesome. Oh, great. It's and it was funny because earlier on in Raw that they started talking about going after Brock in the Universal Championship, but then they turned it all around to the IC belt, and I'm glad they're actually paying attention to that belt because last week that's what we were talking about, how that belt's been being ignored, with everything they've been doing with Dean Ambrose. He didn't even defend it on the pay-per-view, and
right.
So they hinted about all this whole thing with the Brock Lesnar thing, and then I'm like, oh, okay, why are they talking about Brock Lesnar right now when he's not going to be defending it until July? So, and I'm glad that they just teased it, but then turned it all around to the IC title. And I knew that in the end The Miz was going to win that match, but I'm like, how's he going to win this? And they executed it so perfectly, and it was so great.
Yeah, I thought Finn Balor would win. I really thought Finn Balor was going to win. Because I figured Samoa Joe would come out.
Right.
But I didn't see Bray Wyatt coming out. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I like that, the whole thing with the Bray Wyatt thing, because he came out earlier, talked all his nonsense, his regular Bray Wyatt nonsense, but he kept it open to like where it was just like basically like I'm going to like he pretty much was saying I'm gonna start running roughshod around here, which I'm like, sweet, cool, I want Bray Wyatt to do that, so. And he did. He came out and he attacked Finn Balor. I'm like, oh, all right, I want to see this. This is what I want to see.
Yeah, that was dope. That was super dope.
Oh, and then what I also love is that they're that for SmackDown they're setting up their next pay-per-view Backlash to be centered around Shinsuke Nakamura. He's on all the posters. He's in the advertisements. Like, he's the main focus of that, So it's super cool to see that.
But what that means is Dolph Ziggler is going to be his opponent.
Which I'm fine with that. If they can, if they wait for the pay-per-view for Shinsuke to actually have a match, and they just let them two go, like, I think it could be really. I mean, Dolph Ziggler can work in the ring. When he starts doing all those Shawn Michaels moves and stuff like that, it gets a little bit much. But he can work in the ring, and Shinsuke is one of those guys, just like AJ Styles, that he can make you look like better in the ring also. So I think that
you're 100% accurate with that assessment. Key words you just said. Shawn Michaels.
Dolph Michaels.
Shawn Michaels 2.0. That's what I call Dolph Ziggler.
Right. But
and that's not the best thing. That's just to say he reminds me of Shawn Michaels. I mean, look at him. He wears the same boots, same tights.
Does like the super kick the exact same way. The
super kick, same moves. It's Shawn Michaels Jr. all day. And that's what I've hated about Dolph Ziggler. His whole fucking career is Shawn Michaels Part 2. And just imagine if Dolph Ziggler came into the ring with a different outfit on.
Right.
I'm just saying, it could be totally different right now. And that's just me.
Right. And then this past weekend at the Payback pay-per-view, one of our favorite, Chris Jericho, did win the U.S. title from Kevin Owens. But
hey, my boy showed up.
Know what the funny thing is? Know what the funny thing is about wrestling fans? There's wrestling fans that went out of their way to find out if Dean Ambrose and Renee Young got married and found the actual proof. But Chris Jericho wins the U.S. title, and I see people tweeting, oh, does that mean he's going to cancel his Fozzy tour?
Oh, wow. Wow. Stupid idiot.
I was seeing tweets like that. I'm like, well, since he won, does that mean he's just going to cancel Fozzy? And I'm like, how can you go and how can some wrestling fans be crazy enough to go research some crazy stuff and find it, but then you have at the same time actually believe that this thing outside of wrestling would literally be canceled because of something that happened in wrestling? I was like, what?
Those are the same people that listen to Fetty Wap.
Fetty Wap. Oh my god. But then this past Tuesday they would have a rematch and Chris Jericho would drop the title back to Kevin Owens, which is going to set up a Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles match at Backlash on the 21st of May, which that should be a dope. AJ Styles, you know, he just we say this a million times. AJ Styles, it's going to be a phenomenal match. Pun intended.
And this is true, and I'm with you 100% on that assessment. I am a diehard 100% AJ Styles fan, whether he's good or bad. It'll be a great match with Kevin Owens. But my boy is gone. The Ayatollah Rock and Roller is gone for a couple months.
Yeah, man.
My boy, I'm not going to
say goodbye, man.
Man, say goodbye, man. I'm not going to see the list for months. I'm not going to see dope fucking scarves for months. I'm not going to see the lion salt for months. I'm not going to hear stupid idiots get insulted for months. Oh, man. Feel my pain, man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Feel my pain. Feel my pain.
Yeah.
The only reason I watched Raw was for Chris Jericho. Only reason that I was watching SmackDown was because of AJ Styles. Now, AJ Styles is still here, so I'm probably going to be watching SmackDown, but I'm not going to be happy until the GOAT returns. And, yeah, I wish him a successful tour with Fozzy. I wish him good luck on the new album, new project you guys are going to be recording. But I'm going to enjoy the memories until you return, my friend.
Yeah, there is going to be a definite void in the WWE
Huge
product.
Void. Huge.
With Chris Jericho gone for a little while. So, man.
Hey, but we still got Jinder Mahal, though. Woo-hoo!
Hey,
Yeah.
Don't hinder Jinder.
Superb words. Superb words.
Oh, boy. Drink it in, man.
Drink it in.
All right, I think that's about it for this week's podcast. Vstylez, tell them where you can find you online.
All right, you can hit me up on twitter.com/VSTYLEZ. Also, facebook.com, same thing, /VSTYLEZ. Hit me up on my verified page on Facebook at /Official Vstylez. That's official VSTYLEZ. And also hit me up on Instagram at the /VSTYLEZ. And that's about it.
Word. Thanks for listening. See y'all next week.
Peace out, y'all.
Fresh is the word.